In the early hours of April 20th, 2026, the Iranian regime executed 2 political prisoners and heroic members of the PMOI, Hamed Validi and Mohammad Nima, Massoum Shahi. Hamed, a 45-year-old civil engineer, and Mohammad, a 38-year-old technical worker, were hanged in a desperate and brutal crime by a decaying regime seeking to extinguish domestic threats under the cover of external crises. The state murder of these 2 men followed a deeply flawed judicial farce. Arrested in Tehran in May 2025, they endured severe interrogation and physical torture. Their trial was a complete mockery. The regime's judiciary absurdly accused them of espionage connected to a regional war that began a full month after they were already behind bars. Despite this glaring chronological impossibility, they were sentenced to death on fabricated charges, including waging war against God. To justify these executions, state-run media falsely branded Hamed and Mohammad as a foreign-linked spy network. This worn-out narrative is a calculated lie. The regime deliberately frames political prisoners as foreign spies to conceal their true identity as PMOI members. Yet despite these efforts, the regime-affiliated English-language website WANA itself acknowledged in a report published on September 27th that the case involved individuals linked to the PMOI. The ruling clerics are deeply terrified of the growing gravitation of Iranian youth toward the PMOI and its resistance units. Acknowledging these brave fighters as native dissidents shatters the regime's long-standing propaganda that the organized opposition lacks domestic support. These executions occurred despite relentless efforts by the Iranian resistance, who had provided the prisoners' details to the United Nations months in advance and issued urgent warnings just hours before they were hanged. Furthermore, this atrocity is not an isolated incident. It comes on the heels of the recent executions of 6 other PMOI members and 7 young protesters arrested during the massive December and January nationwide uprisings. History is repeating itself in Iran. Paralyzed by the fear of another nationwide uprising and exploiting the fog of external wars, the moribund regime is preparing for a new massive purge of political prisoners, reminiscent of the 1988 massacre. The international community must intervene to save the lives of other political prisoners who are under the threat of being executed by the regime. These rapid-fire executions are not a display of state strength, but a desperate smokescreen by the regime to hide its profound domestic weakness. Yet, the blood of martyrs like Hamed Validi and Mohammad Shahi will only fuel the flames of future uprisings, paving the way for the overthrow of this collapsing dictatorship.
Follow the People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran on YouTube, Facebook, X, and our website.